Hello, my name is Dr. Dana Brackney, and I have the privilege of guiding you through this course in instructional strategies. Most of this class I have got to know very well your junior year, or your first year in graduate school. And some of you I do not know as well because you have joined us in the Education Certificate program. But I plan today to just take you through some of the key components of this course. You've received the syllabus by now, you've looked over it. I know you'll have some other questions, but I thought you'd like to hear my perspective on the course today. So I will show you the diagram that was created by Dr. Lane and I about 5 years ago, I guess, that is present on our site. And I just want to show you some things that I think are important about this. And let's see. So here's something we love right here, the learner-centered education. So that's where we're starting. Many new educators think more about the content of what they're teaching than about the learner. Content is certainly important and what you plan to teach matters, but we start everything that we do as educators by understanding the needs of our learner and characteristics that impact the way they can begin to take in the information. Part of that has to do with objectives. So writing objectives is key in this class. Now, I know in previous classes, you've had the opportunity to write student learning objectives and outcomes. These will be very important in this course as well, but we are going to focus more on the strategies to achieve those objectives. So I hope you feel ready to write some more because we'll be doing that. And then theory is foundational to a lot of choices that educators make. We do not always have research that supports specific educational designs or specific activities that we choose to integrate in the educational modules that we design. However, you can base the rationale for these, if not in empirical research, you could base it in theory. So when you're able to identify the components of theory that are evident in your instructional design, you will achieve your goals. So this course is organized around 4 locations that education most commonly occurs. This is in the physical classroom, probably the most common or most common to us that we're used to. Simulation, it's been around for a long time, but you may be less familiar with teaching with simulation. You'll get an opportunity in this class to actually come to app and work with a simulator and make it operate and learn as much as you can about the equipment in our wonderful simulation lab. So despite COVID, our lab is open. The Department of Nursing has special permissions to have students come to campus because of the important role that we play in the health of our communities. In addition, there's online coursework, which all of a sudden our whole country pivoted to online work. And so those skills and the skillful way we use online strategies are important in nursing education of all sort. Think about the night RN who has to come in during the day for an in-service. Well, the use of online modules can transform that person's work life and be much less disruptive. So there's lots of opportunities, both in the practice setting and in education, and even for our clients. So when patients need education, often an online module or some materials can be supportive of the in-person teaching that might be done with patients or with their family members. So there's many applications for online education. And then what we would call this is an unstructured setting. the clinical settings, but they could also be in labs, any setting that has basically materials where learning could happen, but the educator becomes more of a guide taking students into these settings and then helping them to learn, reflect, and grow in clinical or other unstructured settings. So the classroom is considered our most structured setting. Clinical is our most unstructured setting. I consider online teaching to have both elements of structured and unstructured learning, but that's mainly around synchronous and asynchronous education. And then simulation is a very structured setting that takes a lot of preparation and then a skillful educator to appropriately debrief the experience of simulation. Finally, surrounding all of these are strategies. And I have shifted the focus of this course somewhat this semester. I want you to really leave with some solid strategies in your toolbox. And so you will be working to demonstrate that you can do some of these strategies yourself. And all of this the result of it, oh, I'm putting hearts everywhere. That's kind of fun. All of that is due to what we really want is to have critical thinking. So critical thinking and clinical judgment are the outcome that we desire in nursing education. And so we have to think carefully about how we will measure and evaluate this. And that is in Dr. Fisk's class with measurement. You will be thinking about how to evaluate that this has really occurred and how to measure it. And this is all related back up to your objectives and theory. We're going to stop the share there. And I guess what we'll go to is to the syllabus. So I hope you enjoyed hearing that brief overview of the course. And we'll look at these documents that I've provided for you on the course. One of the most important things I think that you would want to know is that this course runs from Wednesday to Wednesday. So all of your products and everything will be due Wednesday morning. And I will send out information to you weekly via email that I'll post into the forum. The other thing that's important to know is, as you saw those 4 areas, structured, unstructured, online, and simulation, those 4 areas are each in a module. So you'll spend 3 weeks in each of those areas, which means you'll have to decide how you want to spend your time in those 3-week kind of units. We call that chunking of material. And so within that, you'll have the opportunity to design a lesson plan and then to create and demonstrate one of the strategies that are used in that particular setting. So I hope that you have some fun with this. You can either think about making this course beneficial to where you hope to work, like where your area of educational practice might be, or to your project. So if you already have your ideas for your project, you might pick up some other strategies to strengthen achievement of outcomes on your MSM project. Or obviously in the application setting of your educational practicums, you may be experiencing some of this if you are working currently on your education certificate and not on a project specifically. So there's lots of opportunity to meet these objectives. We're going to look at the foundations for the development of instructional technologies through readings. And I have quizzes. I've created quizzes for all of the readings and giving you an opportunity to dig into that. exploring the different technologies and resources to enhance instruction. We'll be talking a lot about the universal design for learning, because it's very important that we don't leave anyone out of our education. For example, you can't see this yet, but when I finish this video, I will be uploading it and closed captioning it so that someone could get this material even if they were reading that captioning as it went along with the video. That's just a small example, and a way that captioning benefits everyone, even if it was more for people with hearing or language impairments. Everyone enjoys captioning. I know I do. Sometimes everyone in your household's on top of you and you can watch something and you don't have to be listening to it because you can read the captioning along it. So that's very nice. And then looking at simulation, we feel this is quite a wonderful opportunity for you. We have a brand new building, and for you to be able to take advantage of the learning opportunities in our simulation lab really is exciting for us. And then looking at how all of this can enhance critical thinking and clinical judgment, and that you will be able to demonstrate your own competency in implementing these strategies. We do have one book that you need to purchase, and that's the Bradshaw et al. Book. It's the 2021 edition. And the Herman, I think you'll like that one. It's kind of a pocket guide with a lot of strategies. I can see that being a book you pull out all the time and enjoy. The Hertz and Harper, that book is available through Creative Commons. So it's free, and I have the link to that, as do the Melrose Park and Perry. I have also a link for you to that, so you don't need to purchase that. So there's only 2 books to purchase, and these additional materials on writing objectives from Bloom and from Fink, and then our standards for simulation. So those are the key documents that we'll be using. Of course, there'll be other resources, but really with those resources alone, you should be able to meet all the objectives of this course. All the rest of this information is the same. So here's, we will have one discussion forum, and you should think of this as a brief writing forum before you post that particular forum. You will not be able to read anyone else's response until you post. So once you post in a forum, then you can see how other people responded. This is called a question and answer forum, and it enables people to have their own individual unique ideas, post their response, and then they are joining the discussion. So we have one of those due at 5%. There's these 5 reading quizzes, each with 1%, and those are in each of the modules. So there's one for this very first 2-week module as well. There's lesson plans. You'll be doing one of those for each of the 4 settings of education, and an instructional strategy exemplar, and you'll be doing one for each of those settings. And I do hope, like I said, that you can apply these to other areas of your education. And then there's a final paper that is 10% of your overall grade. So that's how the grades are divided up. And then what I have is a description of each of the assignments with their rubrics attached. So you want to read through these, because when I grade with the rubric, even if I just think everything about this paper is amazing as far as its quality, if you're not using the APA style, or it's late, or you don't participate in responding to 2 classmates, then your paper would still only score a 50, no matter how wonderful it was. So remember that the rubric, to begin to practice grading your own assignments, will give you practice for grading in the future as an educator. So take that initial post and see how you would score it using a rubric, and be thinking about that as you go through the course. I've given you a template. Well, the quizzes are self-explanatory, but I give, one thing I should say is there's 2 attempts on the reading quiz, and the grade on those is the average of the 2 attempts. So don't open it up and like just read through it so you know what's happening, and then you know, click through like without any concern, because that first attempt does get averaged into your grade. Okay, want you to not be caught off guard by that. And then lesson plan, I provided this template for how to fill that out. So I hope that can help you standardizing that. And then there's a grading rubric for the lesson plan, and the instruction strategies are there too, as is the simulation strategy, and then the paper. So all of these rubrics should really help you. The chunks for the way the course has been chunked, talking about education for everyone these first 2 weeks, and thinking about objectives, structured settings, and then experiential practice settings, which are skills and simulation. So this week 6, 7, and 8, by the end of that, you will be coming to campus. So I put in the course a place for you to begin thinking about what day you want to come up here. Some students come up and just spend 2 hours, but most students like to come up and spend a significant amount of time, 4 to 6 hours, just practicing with the equipment. So this is an opportunity to meet your needs and where your desires as far as where you are in your future career. So that's coming up. And oh, here's something. When you submit assignments, if you could do so with your first name, underline last name, and then the assignment title, it really helps me keep everything straight, which is not always easy when you have multiple courses. So that's pretty much all that I wanted to say at this time about the course. I just wanted to let you know that email is the best way to get a hold of me, and I will try to keep you informed about what's going on. I would like to set up a time to meet with you as a class. So I have a poll about that so that we can touch base, because I really think those synchronous times when you can be together and chat are just so beneficial for everyone. So something to think about, how you can make time to meet as a group will be beneficial. All right. Thanks, and please let me know any questions you have. I'm glad to get us off to a great start this semester. Thank you.